This isn't just a playlist, it's a time capsule. Every track you're about to hear carries a little stamp that says, too much, too sexy, too political, too risky, or just too literal for a specific moment in time. And yet these records refuse to disappear. They slipped from bedrooms to dance floors, from jukeboxes to protests, from late-night shows to the center of the culture. Tonight we break down 15 1970s pop songs that were banned or censored and ask why. Why did a single word force a re-record? Why did a harmless title become touchy overnight? Why did a band sometimes explode a song's reach instead of shrinking it? As we count down, I want your take. Which band aged well? Which feels ridiculous now? And which track gained its legend because someone tried to turn the volume down? Hit subscribe if you love pop history told straight. And let's press play. And culture collide. The gatekeepers try to draw a line, and the dance floor erases it. When you hear it now, do you think the controversy made it unforgettable, or would that pulse have carried it there anyway?
Hey, Pop Lore family! Did you know only 1% of viewers are subscribed? If you love deep dives into pop legends, forgotten gems, and the stories behind the songs that shaped generations, hit that subscribe button right now. And don't forget to turn on LL notifications so you'll be the first to know when we premiere our next video. It's free, it helps Pop Lore grow, and it makes sure you never miss a single countdown or music story. Let's build this community together.
Bit too loud, oh, that never hurt no one. So come on, Virginia, a new soul, and a cross of gold.
A piano riff that smiles, a lyric that pokes, and suddenly a local storm becomes national news. The song's narrator teases a Catholic girl into living a little. Church groups called stations and asked them to drop it. Some did. Others doubled down. Joel later said the pushback made the single bigger. The band became free advertising.
You got a brand new soul, and a cross.
What's striking is how the record refuses to sneer. The vocal stays playful, the band relaxed, the hook friendly enough to live on wedding playlists decades later.
That's what I said.
But the debate it triggered was real. What belongs on public airwaves? Who decides where flirtation ends and offense begins? If you strip away the headlines and just listen, is it anti-religion or simply pro-youth, pro-choice, and honest about desire? Swaggering horns, glam crunch, and McCartney in full stage strut mode. The BBC heard sexual innuendo and a whiff of drugs and said no thanks. McCartney joked that the offending phrase was a misheard wordplay, but the joke didn't land with censors. In the UK, the flip side, See Moon, carried the airplay load, and together the pairing still charted. What the fuss missed is how skillfully the track balances rakish energy with pop economy. Tight runtime, tight hooks, bright guitar stabs, a chorus that detonates on cue. You can hear a former Beatle enjoying the freedom to be cheeky. Would you have let it spin at lunchtime, trusting listeners to get the wink, or saved it for after dark?
Never die, they just keep on popping how they multiply.
A shock if you only know them for sweet harmonies. This is a heavy, rough-edged rock single about pollution, with a synth siren that sounds like a factory alarm. Some officials misread the lyric, "Smokin' Up the Sky," as a drug anthem. In a few countries, the single faced bans or sales restrictions, and in others it drew side-eye from programmers who couldn't square the message with the band's family image. But that mismatch is the point. Crazy Horses proves that a clean-cut group can deliver a hard truth with muscle. It also shows how easily a metaphor can be taken literally when gatekeepers are nervous. When you play it today, do you hear an eco-rock warning ahead of its time, or a misunderstood shout that never got a fair radio run? A burst of new wave sugar with a punk briskness, this early XTC single rides choppy guitars and a singable melody straight toward a punchline. I sail beneath your skirt. Radio 1 balked. One line was enough to sideline the whole record on key playlists. That didn't stop XTC's rise. It simply stamped them as witty troublemakers who like to play at the edges of taste. Listen closely and you hear a band already expert at contrast. Bright chords against sly humor, tight rhythms against surreal images. Even the offending line is a joke about awe, not anatomy. It raises a durable question we keep asking across this countdown. Should one eyebrow-raising moment be able to silence an entire song, or should context and craft carry the verdict?
A sunny day, oh yeah, well I got it now.
Bright guitars, easy swing, and a singer looking back at youth through a camera filter. Kodachrome is perfect pop with a technical problem. It names a trademark. In the early 70s, the BBC had strict rules against advertising on air, so the record wasn't released as a UK single, and stations avoided it.
Brought them all together for one night.
Australia's Commercial Radio Federation took a similar line. In America, though, the song flew. Punchy drums, a chorus that snaps into place, and Paul Simon's sly humor about what memory hides and what it highlights. The irony is rich. A song about how images shape the truth got muted by a rule about brand names.
And everything looks worse in black and white. Kodachrome away. Mama don't.
Yet the record still became part of the decade's soundtrack, a car window down staple that climbed near the top of the US charts. It's a reminder that pop can be both playful and pointed, even when it smiles. Question: should one product name be enough to keep a great single off the air? Or do audiences know the difference between art and an ad?
Your picture on the cover of the Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone. See my picture.
Shel Silverstein wrote a satire so sharp it cut both ways. The joke is clear. A scruffy band dreams about the ultimate badge of fame, landing on the cover of the most famous music magazine in America. In the UK, that title ran headlong into no plugs rules, and the BBC treated it like product promotion.
But her lines won't really be blown. Like the blow that'll get you when you get sure.
Legend has it some DJs even shouted "radio times" over the chorus for a cheeky workaround. Meanwhile, in the US, the single hit big, and the bit completed itself. Dr. Hook eventually appeared on Rolling Stone as a caricature, turning fiction into fact. What makes the record endure isn't just the punchline, it's the warm, ragged sing-along, and the way it skewers the industry while admitting the dream is real. Question: do you hear it as advertising, or as the smartest media joke the 70s ever put on the radio?
Hungry as hell, no food to eat, enjoy. Timothy, God, what did we?
A sunny melody hides a dark story. Written by Rupert Holmes, Timothy follows three miners trapped underground. When two emerge, the third is missing. The lyric never says cannibalism, but the hint is strong enough that many US stations banned it.
I must have blacked out and just found that 'cause the very next.
The unintended, or very intended, result: curiosity exploded, requests spiked, and the single climbed into the national top 20. It's a classic case of the pop paradox. The same detail that offends also makes the narrative unforgettable. Musically, it's compact and clever. Brief verses, a bright chorus, and a final reveal that lands like a shiver.
Thing that I could see was the light of the day.
Holmes would later say he set out to write a song that would get banned. The plan worked, but the craft is what keeps it interesting 5 decades later. Question: do shock twists cheapen pop, or can a taboo topic carry a real story that sticks? This video is sponsored by the Lore Store on Amazon. your one-stop shop for music lovers across reggae, rock, pop, and hip-hop. We built it for real listeners who don't want to dig through 1,000 listings to find the right gear. Inside the Lore Store, you'll find 5 aisles. VIP, top, battle-tested essentials. Headphones, turntables, speakers, gig-safe earplugs, smart speakers. Reggae vibe, roots and lovers. Rock made easy, automatic decks, warm bookshelf speakers, vinyl care. Rock lore, classic rock must-haves, open back cans, simple amps, living room concert vibes. Pop lore, feel-good everyday setups, clean, clear speakers, easy streaming, nostalgia-friendly picks. Hip-hop must-haves, punchy bass without the muddle, closed-back headphones and living room systems that handle low-end, plus a rotating crate of old album vinyl if you're rebuilding a 60s-90s collection. Every product page tells you who it's for, 3 pros, 1 con, and why we picked it. So you can choose with confidence. Flying soon? Check. VIP for noise canceling that tames plane roar. Mostly listening at home? Try open-back headphones that let live albums breathe. Want instant gratification vinyl? Our fully automatic turntable is 1 button from silence to music, and the record cleaning kit knocks down crackle so the bass tightens up. Headed to shows? Grab high-fidelity earplugs. Hands-free at home? Our smart speaker picks let you say, play 70s reggae or classic pop, and you're there. Deal alert! If you use the link in the description, you'll land on our curated picks with current best available Amazon pricing and active discounts where applicable. Prices change, so buy now to lock in today's deal. Tap the link in the description, pick your aisle, grab a favorite, and tell me which category you want me to build next. The Lore Store. Listen better, with gear that gets out of the way and lets the music live. Rock's founding storyteller scored his first US #1 with a schoolyard double entendre. Recorded live, My Ding-a-Ling rides audience call and response, and Barry's grin you can hear through the microphone. Some stations refused to play it even as it topped charts, arguing the joke went too far. Moral crusaders wrote letters. Parents rolled their eyes. But the crowd on the tape tells the real truth. This is community theater set to a backbeat. A veteran showman turning a simple gag into a communal release.
But when the choir would stand and sing, I'd sit there and play with my...
It's not Johnny B. Good. Few songs are. But it shows how humor and scandal can fuel a hit long after an artist's supposed prime. Question. If your town banned it back then, would that have pushed you to the record store faster, or turned you off the joke entirely?
Living life in peace.
A piano, a voice, and a plain-spoken dream of a world without borders, possessions, or heaven and hell. For years it floated above politics, quoted at vigils and graduations. Then the world changed. During the 1991 Gulf War, the BBC circulated guidance to avoid certain songs. Imagine was on the list. Too sensitive for the moment, they felt, because of its language about peace while soldiers were being deployed. The song hadn't changed, but the context had, and a timeless hymn became a flashpoint again. That controversy underlines the power at the center of the record. It asks listeners to picture something many find naive, others find necessary, and everyone finds provocative.
Imagine all the people and the world.
Stripped of studio tricks, it either strikes you as wishful thinking or as the one idea worth repeating until it's real. Question. Should broadcasters ever sideline a classic because of current events, or should the audience decide what they're ready to hear? A reggae story song rewritten for FM rock. This is Clapton taking Bob Marley's 1973 composition and sanding it into something lean and radio-ready. Tight hi-hat, clipped rhythm guitar, organ swells like heat rising off pavement. The lyric is first-person confession and defense. A man accused, a sheriff dead, a deputy spared.
I shot sheriff
It's deliberately ambiguous, which is why it works. Morality feels messy, like real life. Years later, during the Gulf War in 1991, UK programmers grew cautious about titles that mentioned guns or killing. This one often got sidelined on guidance lists, even though it's a narrative, not an endorsement. That's the strange afterlife of pop. Context changes how a song lands. What doesn't change is the groove. Clapton's version hit #1 in the US, pulling Marley's songwriting into the center of mainstream rock. Question: should a title alone be enough to bench a record, or do we owe listeners the full story inside the song?
With this song.
Soft doesn't mean small. Flack's reading is gigantic precisely because she barely raises her voice. The arrangement leaves space. Piano like lamplight, brushed drums, strings that sigh rather than shout. It's a song about feeling seen by a performer, almost too closely, and Flack turns that vulnerability into power.
I prayed that he would finish, but he just kept.
2 decades later, wartime programmers flinched at the verb in the title and flagged it during the Gulf conflict. It's a reminder that radio hears words in isolation. Audiences hear them in context. Lyrically, this isn't violence, it's metaphor, the way a piece of music can cut right through your armor.
Embarrassed by the crowd, I felt me as if I wasn't there. And he.
The record held #1 for weeks in the US and has never left the culture because it explains something most of us know but can't usually say. The right song at the right moment can undo you and help you at the same time. Question: in a tense news cycle, do you trust listeners to hear past a loaded word, or does caution win? Pure pop sunlight, fizzy pianos, glam stomp, and harmonies that hit like confetti cannons. ABBA's Eurovision winner announces itself with a horn stab and never lets up, turning a breakup into a candy-bright surrender. The Waterloo metaphor is clever. Love as a battlefield, defeat as a kind of victory. In 1991, that title suddenly felt less playful to some programmers. A wartime guidance list caught it in the net, even though the lyric is more romance than regiment. Still, the song's endurance says everything. Hooks this strong outrun context. Waterloo cracked America, conquered Europe, and set ABBA's template, joy delivered with absolute precision. Every bar is engineered to lift you a few inches off the ground. Question: when the world is heavy, is it right to put a joyful track on pause because of a historical reference, or is that exactly when you let it play?
Real soon, kick up a little dust, compressor, and you can be my sheep.
A heat haze of a record, lazy swing groove, lyrical guitar filigree, and Moldor's voice pouring over the arrangement like warm honey. The imagery is desert dream, camels, moonlight, a promise to send your daddy home. And in ordinary times, it's just sultry pop done exquisitely well.
Don't have to answer. There's no need.
During the Gulf War, that same imagery spooked schedulers who didn't want Middle East references on daytime radio, and it showed up on avoid lists. But listen outside the headlines, and you hear an intimate, playful song about 2 people inventing their own private world for a night.
A nomad known to all.
The production is masterclass subtlety. Percussion pats like distant footsteps, guitar solos sip rather than gulp. The chorus uncoils instead of explodes. It peaked high on US charts and became a soft rock standard precisely because it never hurries you. Question: does time change how we hear lyrics, or do the headlines just change the room we're listening in?
Hey, Pop Lore family. Did you know only 1% of viewers are subscribed? If you love deep dives into pop legends, forgotten gems, and the stories behind the songs that shaped generations, hit that subscribe button right now. And don't forget to turn on LL notifications so you'll be the first to know when we premiere our next video. It's free, it helps pop lore grow, and it makes sure you never miss a single countdown or music story. Let's build this community together.
Baez took the band's Civil War lament and lifted it into the pop mainstream with crystalline diction and a steadier backbeat. The narrator, Virgil Caine, isn't waving a flag. He's counting losses, family, land, pride, in a country trying to stitch itself back together. That complexity is why the song endures, and also why it becomes sensitive in certain moments. In 1991, with war dominating the news, the BBC's caution lists swept up titles that brushed conflict, and Baez's hit was one of them. What's striking now is how the record refuses easy slogans. The melody is generous, almost hymn-like. The performance feels like witness rather than argument. It asks you to sit with history's weight, not to cheer it.
I don't mind, I'm chopping wood, and I don't care.
That's not an easy ask for radio, which prefers quick feelings, but it's the reason people still return to the song. Question: when history itself feels charged, should broadcasters revisit what gets played, or trust audiences to handle nuance without the training wheels? The journey doesn't end here, pop lovers. Watch this next.
You sing them out again.
1972. Pop music is everywhere. On car radios, in dim cafes, blasting from bedroom speakers. A whisper could top the charts, a rumor could fuel a chorus, and one perfect hook could own the whole summer. Tonight we're counting down the top 15 pop songs of 1972. We'll never forget. Fact-checked, no repeats, pure melody. From the line everyone thought was about them to the anthem strangers still sing to each other in elevators. From a bar band fairy tale to a rocket ride straight into loneliness. Stay for number 9. A blue-collar story that accidentally became a number 1. Listen closely at number 5, the quietest chart topper of the year that stopped radio dead. At number 2, you'll hear the shoulder-to-shoulder chorus the world still leans on. And number 1, the heartbreak vocal that set the gold standard for every power ballad after it. Hit play. Think about where you first heard these songs. Your first crush, a long bus ride, a late-night request. And tell me which track still lives rent-free in your head. Let's roll from 15 to 1. A pop song became a guessing game, and the mystery turned into marketing genius. You're So Vain works because it's 2 songs at once. A perfect radio single with a giant one-breath chorus, and a puzzle people still argue about. The production is lean and confident, piano setting the path, bass and drums walking with a calm swagger. Acoustic guitar adding sparkle. Carly Simon's vocal is the engine, conversational in the verse, then suddenly huge on You're So Vain, like she's stepping out of a diary and onto a stage. The unnamed target keeps the story moving. Details like apricot scarf and yacht feel real enough to picture. And then there's the sly thrill of Mick Jagger's uncredited harmony shadowing the hook. 2 star voices locked together.
You're so vain. I bet you think this song is about.
The result is a chorus anyone can sing at full volume, even if you've never been to Saratoga or flown to Nova Scotia. That's the secret. The lyric is specific, but the feeling is universal. When you hear this, do you sing it to someone from your past, or just enjoy the drama like a mini movie?
Hey, Pop Lore family. Did you know only 1% of viewers are subscribed? If you love deep dives into pop legends, forgotten gems, and the stories behind the songs that shaped generations, hit that subscribe button right now. And don't forget to turn on LL notifications so you'll be the first to know when we premiere our next video. It's free, it helps pop lore grow, and it makes sure you never miss a single countdown or music story. Let's build this community together.
My young voice to open up your eyes when you're out in the cold. No one beside you.
Before the dance floors and falsetto era, the Bee Gees were already masters of heart-on-sleeve pop. Run to Me is a lesson in empathy, a piano cradle, gentle strings leaning in, and three brothers blending like one human voice. Barry leads with warmth, Robin hovers with ache, and Maurice glues it together so smoothly you barely notice the seams, only the glow. The song isn't flashy, it's faithful. The melody moves like a hand being offered, and the harmony stacks at the chorus feel like a promise you can trust. There's also craft in the restraint. No extra riffs, no showboating, just chords and voices that tell you what the title already said. When it gets heavy, I'm here. In a year crowded with big statements, the Bee Gees chose kindness. Which part gets you? The first line of the chorus when the harmonies bloom, or the way the last note lingers like a reassuring breath? Soft can still be strong. The Carpenters understood that better than almost anyone, and hurting each other proves it. Karen Carpenter's voice is close and human, like a light in a quiet room. Richard Carpenter builds the frame, orchestra that swells without smothering, background vocals that rise like a tide, and those precise keyboard touches that keep the track steady. The lyric is simple and direct. Two people who love each other, stuck in a loop of small wounds, and Karen refuses to oversing it. She just tells the truth. Listen for the rhythm section's discipline. The bass holds the floor, the drums breathe, nothing crowds the vocal. When the key change arrives, it's not a trick, it's a lift, a request to try again. That honesty is why the song still lands. It describes arguments we barely remember starting, and the desire to stop them before they leave a scar. Do you hear this as a breakup song? Or as a peace offering between two people who still want to make it work? Lush doesn't have to mean heavy. Philly Soul's magic is how it floats, and this record floats like a held breath. Tom Bell's arrangement paints in soft colors, silky strings, gentle horns, rhythm that moves without stomping, while Russell Tompkins Jr.'s falsetto carries the melody like china you don't want to drop. The lyric is pure devotion, almost old-fashioned in its sweetness, but the performance makes it feel fresh, not corny. Every wow lands because the band leaves space around it. You can hear the room at Sigma Sound, the care in every note, the pride in making romance sound as important as revolution.
If I could, anything you ask, I'll try.
This is pop as craftsmanship, each part tuned for feeling, each harmony a brushstroke. It's not about surprise, it's about grace. What's the exact moment that melts you? The first high note lift on the chorus, or the quiet little turns he makes in the verses? A B-side that refused to stay quiet and became a standard. Flip the single, and there it was. That guitar figure, bright but calm, like a light coming on in a hallway. The Spinners had just moved to a new label, and you can hear the reset. Tom Bell's production is clean as glass, the groove is patient, and Bobby Smith's lead is steady. No begging, no drama, just conviction. The lyric isn't a chase, it's a promise. The background vocals don't shout, they support, opening the chorus like a gentle wave. Underneath, the Philly studio band keeps everything unshakable. Bass locked, drums relaxed, keys adding soft color. What makes I'll Be Around last is how adult it feels. It isn't, please take me back. It's, I'll be here when you need something real. In 3 minutes, it turns heartbreak into character. When this comes on, do you sing the guitar hook, the lead line, or those calm, perfect harmonies on the chorus? A soft voice, a big moment. Ben is the sound of a 14-year-old stepping out of a famous group and proving he can carry a whole story alone. The melody is gentle and careful, built on strings and a steady heartbeat of drums. The lyric, about loyalty and friendship, came from a movie, but it lands because Michael sings it like a promise, not a script. There's almost no showing off. Every phrase sits right where it should. That restraint lets the emotion do the work. On radio in 1972, this didn't fight for attention. It invited you closer. It also quietly changed how people saw Michael Jackson. Not just a kid star, but a solo singer who could hold a room. What detail hits you harder? The hush of the verses, or the way the chorus opens like someone finally saying what they mean?
Serves them whiskey and wine. The sailors say brandy, you're fine.
A bar band dream that became a national story. Brandy is pure narrative pop. A working harbor, a hard-working barmaid, and a sailor who loves the sea more than any one person. The groove rolls like a tide. Acoustic strum, tight drums, bright electric flourishes. And the chorus lands with that unforgettable line, "My life, my lover, my lady is the sea."
Brandy was a pretty chick, be the finest. If you would be such a fine, give my life, my lover, my lady.
What makes it special is how ordinary details feel cinematic. The locket, the sailor's eyes, the town that knows Brandy by name. You can sing it the first time you hear it. And like the best pop, it gives you a twist that isn't cruel. It's honest. Sometimes love and duty pull in different directions.
Such a fine, give my life, my lover, my lady is the sea.
The band doesn't oversell it. They play like a group that's told this story on 100 small stages and finally found the take that shines. When the chorus hits, are you singing Brandy's hope or the sailor's answer?
Is gone. All of the bad.
Sunlight on a rainy street. Johnny Nash blends pop clarity with a reggae lean you can feel in the offbeat guitar and the easy sway of the rhythm section. The lyric is simple courage. Storms pass, vision returns, and doors open.
It's gonna be a bright.
Because the writing is clean, short lines, bright images, the track feels like a deep breath after a hard season. The arrangement keeps everything light. Glistening keys, gentle percussion, harmonies that smile rather than shout. It's not about surprise, it's about relief.
Look all around, there's nothing but blue sky. I can see all obstacles.
That's why it keeps coming back in new decades and new movies. Everyone recognizes the feeling of clouds breaking. Which line lifts you most? It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Or the quiet confidence of, gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. This video is sponsored by the Lore Store on Amazon, your one-stop shop for music lovers across reggae, rock, pop, and hip-hop. We built it for real listeners who don't want to dig through 1,000 listings to find the right gear. Inside the Lore Store, you'll find 5 aisles. VIP, top, battle-tested essentials. Headphones, turntables, speakers, gig-safe earplugs, smart speakers. Reggae vibe, roots and lovers. Rock made easy, automatic decks, warm bookshelf speakers, vinyl care. Rock lore, classic rock must-haves, open back cans, simple amps, living room concert vibes. Pop lore, feel-good everyday setups, clean, clear speakers, easy streaming, nostalgia-friendly picks. Hip-hop must-haves, punchy bass without the muddle, closed-back headphones and living room systems that handle low-end, plus a rotating crate of old album vinyl if you're rebuilding a 60s-90s collection. Every product page tells you who it's for, 3 pros, 1 con, and why we picked it. So you can choose with confidence. Flying soon? Check. VIP for noise canceling that tames plane roar. Mostly listening at home? Try open-back headphones that let live albums breathe. Want instant gratification vinyl? Our fully automatic turntable is 1 button from silence to music, and the record cleaning kit knocks down crackle so the bass tightens up. Headed to shows? Grab high-fidelity earplugs, hands-free at home. Our smart speaker picks let you say, play 70s reggae or classic pop, and you're there. Deal alert! If you use the link in the description, you'll land on our curated picks with current best available Amazon pricing and active discounts where applicable. Prices change, so buy now to lock in today's deal. Tap the link in the description, pick your aisle, grab a favorite, and tell me which category you want me to build next. The Lore Store. Listen better, with gear that gets out of the way and lets the music live.
Again. Come sing 'em out again.
The power of simple. 2 or 3 chords, a melody you can hum without thinking, and a singer who trusts the song. Song Sung Blue is Neil Diamond at his most direct. Everyday language, small images, and a tune that moves like a gentle river.
Funny thing, but you can.
The band sits back. Subtle bass, soft drums, light horns and strings that color without crowding. The lyric is about letting sadness pass through music, not pretending it isn't there. It's a sing-along disguised as a little life lesson. If you can name the feeling, you can handle it. Many hits from 1972 exploded with production. This one works like a hand on your shoulder. Be honest, did you start humming before the first chorus finished?
The outer space on such a
Loneliness dressed as a spaceflight. Elton John and Bernie Taupin frame the astronaut's job as a quiet, daily separation from home. I miss the earth so much I miss my wife. And the melody lets that ache glow instead of burn. Paul Buckmaster's string touches, the patient rhythm section, and those stacked harmonies build a sky around Elton's piano without ever hiding it.
gonna be a long, long time. Touchdown brings
To how the chorus opens and then seems to hang in the air on long, long time, like you're watching the ship drift away. It's a paradox, a huge pop record that feels private. That contrast is why it lasts.
there to raise them. If you did.
Whether you hear it as science fiction or a traveling worker's sigh, the feeling is the same. Fame, distance, and the cost of being on for the world. Which line stays with you after the fade? The blunt, "It's just my job 5 days a week," or the faraway echo of, "I think it's gonna be a long, long time." A whisper that ruled a loud year. Roberta Flack takes a folk love song and turns it into a slow, patient confession. The tempo is almost still. The piano breathes. The strings arrive like curtains opening. What makes it powerful isn't volume, it's time. She lets each line bloom and fade before moving on, so every image feels close enough to touch. There are no tricks here, just care. Careful phrasing, careful space, careful dynamics that rise only when the feeling demands it. In a season of big choruses, this track won by asking you to lean in. It taught radio that stillness could be dramatic and that intimacy could fill a room. When do you feel this most? The very first line, or the long climb into that final, open-hearted chorus?
In my hour of need, I truly am indeed.
On paper, it's heavy, loss, doubt, and the bruises life leaves behind. On record, it's weight carried with grace. Gilbert O'Sullivan sings as if he's thinking aloud, plain voice, gentle piano, a melody that wanders like a mind late at night.
In the world that can't be mended, left unattended.
The craft is in the details. Conversational lyrics that hide careful rhymes, string figures that lift but never smother, rhythms that keep the song moving even when the mood sits still. The story grows from one person's hurt into something bigger, a hand on the shoulder of anyone who's felt their plans collapse. It's not self-pity, it's recognition. By telling small truths clearly, the song becomes a refuge. Which line lands hardest for you? The early doubts about fate, or the later memories that widen the hurt?
Take
quiet confession with a hook that stays for days. Oh Girl is a lesson in restraint. Soft flute, crisp guitar, a rhythm section that steps lightly, and Eugene Records' lead vocal holding everything together with calm honesty. He isn't grandstanding. He's admitting how lost he'd be if love walked out the door. The arrangement mirrors the lyric. Nothing is wasted, and when the chorus finally opens, the melody feels both inevitable and brand new.
I can save myself a lot of useless tears.
You can hear Chicago Soul's discipline here. Players who know the value of air between notes, and a singer who trusts a simple line to carry complex feelings. It's heartbreak, yes, but it's dignified heartbreak, sung like a promise to do better. Do you find yourself humming the flute line, the guitar figure, or that plain-spoken chorus you can't forget?
I'll help you carry on.
A community song built like a front porch conversation. Bill Withers writes in everyday language, no fancy metaphors, just the way neighbors talk when someone needs help. The piano states the idea in block chords, the groove walks in steady and human, and the voices join like people arriving at your door.
Till I'm gonna need somebody to show why you just call on me, brother.
The genius is how the melody climbs without strain, inviting everyone to sing, even if they don't consider themselves singers. It's medicine, not spectacle, a chorus you can lean on when words are hard to find.
Not strong, and I'll be your friend.
The track also shows Withers' gift for rhythm. Nothing rushes, nothing drags, and the little call and response moments feel like real life. That's why it lives in schools, churches, weddings, and living rooms. When this comes on, do you sing harmony on the chorus, or clap on the groove and let the words do the work?
Hey, Pop Lore family! Did you know only 1% of viewers are subscribed? If you love deep dives into pop legends, forgotten gems, and the stories behind the songs that shaped generations, hit that subscribe button right now. And don't forget to turn on LL notifications so you'll be the first to know when we premiere our next video. It's free, it helps Pop Lore grow, and it makes sure you never miss a single countdown or music story. Let's build this community together.
But I guess that's just the way the story goes.
Pop's gold standard heartbreak vocal. Nilsson didn't write it, but he owns it, starting almost in a whisper, then rising to a cry that feels both controlled and raw. The piano is the spine. The strings and drums arrive like waves hitting the shore, each chorus bigger than the last. That build is the drama. You can feel the room widening as the singer realizes there's no easy way to speak this pain except straight. The melody is simple, the phrasing meticulous. Every breath counts. It's the kind of performance that makes you stop what you're doing and just listen.
Times insanity, it's too predictable, reorganized and alright.
And it set a template for the modern ballad. Clean structure, honest lyric. One voice carrying everything you can't say any other way. Decades later, the first two notes still pull the floor from under you. Where does this song break you? The quiet opening lines, or the moment the chorus leaps and the strings rush in? The journey doesn't end here, pop lovers. Watch this next.
Above us on the sky.
What if 1 year could show you every color of pop? Soft and sweet, bold and funky, gentle and loud, often in the very same week. That year was 1971. Singer-songwriters owned the radio. Motown was still magic. TV variety shows turned singles into national events. Film soundtracks crashed the charts. And across it all, melody ruled. Tonight we count down the top 15 pop songs of 1971. We'll never forget the stories behind the hits, why they connected, and what to listen for now. If you love chart history, hidden studio details, and hooks that never quit, you're in the right place. This is Pop Lore. Subscribe, and let's drop the needle. Number 15.
Me and you and a dog named Old MacDonald.
A 3-minute road trip you can see in your mind. Kent Lavoie, Lobo, keeps everything friendly and open. Jangly acoustic guitars up front, a steady backbeat, and a chorus you can sing by the second pass.
I'll never forget the day
It was his breakthrough and a blueprint for early 70s soft pop. Simple story, easy groove, smile never forced. You can feel the miles sliding by, windows down, nothing urgent except the next chorus. When this plays, what pops into your head first? The open road, the beat-up car, or the dog in the back seat?
Hey, Pop Lore family! Did you know only 1% of viewers are subscribed? If you love deep dives into pop legends, forgotten gems, and the stories behind the songs that shaped generations, hit that subscribe button right now. And don't forget to turn on LL notifications so you'll be the first to know when we premiere our next video. It's free, it helps Pop Lore grow, and it makes sure you never miss a single countdown or music story. Let's build this community together.
If I could read you, 'cause the ending just too hard to take.
Quiet songs can hit the hardest. Lightfoot turns heartbreak into melody that doesn't need to shout. Finger-picked guitar, a gentle vocal, and lyrics that read like a late-night letter you never sent.
Store would sell when you reach the part where the
The arrangement leaves space for silence, so the chorus lands like a truth you finally accept. It grew slow, lasted long, and became the ultimate drive-home thinking too much song. Do you hear it more as a breakup diary or as a note to yourself about moving on?
Close your eyes and
A Carole King song sung like a promise. Taylor's voice stays calm and close. The piano and acoustic guitar cradle the melody, and the message is as plain as it is powerful. You're not alone.
even your darkest night. And I'll be there, now.
That's why families keep this one for decades. It shows up at graduations, weddings, and on the hard days when you need a steady hand.
Above you should grow dark and
Which version reached you first? James's, Carol's, or a school choir that made you learn the words by heart?
to have a girl like her.
A daydream wrapped in velvet. The strings float, the rhythm tiptoes, and those layered harmonies turn a private fantasy into something you can't forget.
Of all the fellas in the world, she belongs to me. As I pray, dear Lord, hear my
Eddie Kendrick's tender lead feels like he's telling you a secret he barely dares to say out loud. It's elegant, reflective, and timeless. A moment where Motown slows everything down so the feeling can breathe.
She doesn't even know me.
When you hum it, do you hear the lead first, or the background voices carrying the mood like a soft tide?
Take me home, country road.
City kids and country folks agree on this one. The chorus rises like a campfire sing-along. Simple chords, sweet harmony, and a promise of home you can believe even if you've never seen the place.
Blue water, dark and dusty.
It's country pop at its friendliest. A little twang, a lot of heart, a map you don't need to read. People all over the world claim it because it makes them feel rooted.
Take me home, country road.
Sing that chorus.
On the stage, ain't no sunshine.
A small song with a giant heart. Bill Withers was still working a day job in an aircraft plant when he cut this track for his debut album. Producer Booker T. Jones keeps the band close and warm. Just guitar, organ, bass, and drums in a slow pocket that never hurries. The lyric is almost nothing on paper. A man noticing how the room dies when she's gone. But Wither's voice makes it feel like a private truth you weren't meant to hear. The famous run of "I know" wasn't even meant to stay. It was a placeholder in early drafts. On record, it becomes the whole point, obsession turning into a heartbeat.
I know. Hey, I ought to leave the young thing away. Anytime she...
Session legends hold the floor steady while the vocal rises and falls like memory, and the fade leaves you wanting one more chorus. This is the power of less. Fewer words, bigger feeling. What hits you harder, the quiet space between those chords, or the moment his voice frays on the last chorus? A comeback built like a short film. Written by Bob Stone and produced to grab AM radio in 3 seconds, the song frames Cher as a narrator from the fringes. Traveling show, small town judgment, a life lived under bright lights and narrow eyes. The verses move like a carousel. The chorus slams shut with a hook you can't shake. Cher's vocal is the engine, strong, focused, and theatrical without tipping into camp. In 1971, it felt modern because it told a full story in under 3 minutes and let a woman narrate her fate with control, not pity. It also marked her arrival as a solo force who could carry a concept, not just a chorus. If you had to pick one Cher record that announces star power, is it this one, or does another track define her for you? Orchestra meets street groove and they both win. The record opens with a ticking hi-hat and a wah-wah guitar line that instantly sets a mood. Cool, dangerous, unbothered. Then the arrangement blooms. Low strings, horns, and that rubbery bass strut. Hayes was already reinventing soul with long cinematic tracks. Here he compresses that vision into a theme that sounds like a whole city at night. It works on 2 levels, as a killer instrumental palette and as a character sketch you can dance to. The players from the Stax world give it muscle, the strings give it width. Hayes' baritone owns the center when the vocal enters. A film cue became a pop phenomenon and an anthem of black cool, slick, tough, and proud. When it kicks in, what grabs you first? The wah-wah guitar, the hi-hat pattern, or the swell of the strings. This video is sponsored by the Lore Store on Amazon, your one-stop shop for music lovers across reggae, rock, pop, and hip-hop. We built it for real listeners who don't want to dig through 1,000 listings to find the right gear. Inside the Lore Store, you'll find 5 aisles. VIP, top, battle-tested essentials. Headphones, turntables, speakers, gig-safe earplugs, smart speakers. Reggae vibe. Roots and lovers. Rock made easy. Automatic decks, warm bookshelf speakers, vinyl care. Rock lore. Classic rock must-haves. Open back cans, simple amps, living room concert vibes. Pop lore. Feel-good everyday setups, clean, clear speakers, easy streaming, nostalgia-friendly picks. Hip-hop must-haves. Punchy bass without the muddle, closed-back headphones and living room systems that handle low-end. Plus a rotating crate of old album vinyl if you're rebuilding a 60s-90s collection. Every product page tells you who it's for, 3 pros, 1 con, and why we picked it. So you can choose with confidence. Flying soon? Check. VIP for noise canceling that tames plane roar. Mostly listening at home? Try open-back headphones that let live albums breathe. Want instant gratification vinyl? Our fully automatic turntable is 1 button from silence to music. And the record cleaning kit knocks down crackle so the bass tightens up. Headed to shows? Grab high-fidelity earplugs. Hands-free at home? Our smart speaker picks let you say, play 70s reggae or classic pop, and you're there. Deal alert. If you use the link in the description, you'll land on our curated picks with current best available Amazon pricing and active discounts where applicable. Prices change, so buy now to lock in today's deal. Tap the link in the description. Pick your aisle, grab a favorite, and tell me which category you want me to build next. The Lore Store. Listen better, with gear that gets out of the way and lets the music live. A puzzle box that clicks perfectly into place. After the Beatles, Paul didn't retreat. He played. This single stitches together mini songs. Rainy Day Memories, a crackly telephone apology, a brass band fanfare over open water, and a jaunty command from Admiral Halsey. It shouldn't hold together, but the melodies are so strong that each section feels inevitable. The rhythm section keeps it buoyant. The horns arrive like sunshine through a window. Paul's stacked harmonies wrap everything in warmth. It's pop as collage, restless, cheerful, secretly emotional. Listen for how the bass guides each transition and how the hands across the water refrain feels like a postcard from a happier place. In 1971, this was proof Paul could still turn curiosity into a #1 record. Which moment is your sweet spot? The butter pie whimsy, the brass break over the sea, or the soaring hands across the water release? A quiet room becomes a cathedral. Before the dance floor years, the Bee Gees were masters of melancholy melody, and this is their finest early 70s ballad. The tempo is unhurried. The strings sigh rather than swell. Barry and Robin blend into one sorrowful voice, with Maurice laying the foundation underneath.
Can you mend this broken man? I could never see tomorrow.
The lyric is plain spoken, questions more than answers, and that restraint lets the harmonies do the heavy lifting. Arranged with tasteful strings and soft rhythm, the track feels like you've walked in on a confession. It was their first US #1 and a turning point, proof they could command the charts with tenderness before they later ruled clubs with thunder. Which Bee Gees lane hits you deepest? The hushed ballads like this, or the later high-gloss disco era?
I'm not ashamed to tell the world that you really messed up.
It sat at #1 for weeks in early 1971 because it hit two audiences at once: kids who loved the chorus and grown-ups who felt the groove. When you hear it now, do you remember it as a childhood anthem? Or did you discover it later and think, okay, that's a jam? Jeremiah was a bullfrog, and suddenly the whole country is shouting the same line. Hoyt Axton wrote a party chant with a built-in smile, but the reason it rules is how disciplined the band plays it. The drums are big but controlled. The guitars leave space for those stacked vocals, and Chuck Negron drives the melody like a front-row ringmaster. This is bar band energy polished for national radio. Zero dead air. Every chorus landing exactly on time. It didn't just go to #1. It became the year's signature sing-along because it lets every listener feel like part of the band. Be honest. Do you actually sing the verses? Or do you wait for the Joy to the World blast and jump in there?
Crazy and I knew just what to do. Now you look so unhappy and I na 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 na.
One single, two moods. Grown-up heartbreak on one side, piano-driven joy on the other. It's Too Late, with lyrics by Tony Stern, tells the truth without blame. Curtis Amy's sax slips in like late-night light. Danny Korchmar's guitar stays tasteful, and Carol's piano sets the whole room. Flip It and I Feel the Earth Move is pure kinetic rush. Left-hand piano pounding the floor, drums pushing forward, a vocal that grins as it runs. Together they define tapestry, real life turned into melody you can carry. 5 weeks at #1 wasn't hype. It was recognition of craft and honesty. Which line from It's Too Late feels most true to you? And when that piano on Earth Move kicks off, do you feel it in your feet or your chest first?
Imagine there's no countries. You may say
A piano, a voice, and the courage to keep it simple. Lennon tracked the core at his home studio, keeping the sound close and human, then added just enough strings to float the melody.
but I'm not the only one.
The lyric reads like an invitation, not a lecture, not a slogan, just imagine and see where your mind goes. Yoko Ono's conceptual influence runs through the idea, and Phil Spector's light production touch leaves space for silence to speak. It became a shared language in hard moments because it balances calm and bravery, quiet music carrying a big dream. When you hear it today, does it land as a protest, a prayer, or a promise? And which single line stays with you for days?
Hey, Pop Lore family. Did you know only 1% of viewers are subscribed? If you love deep dives into pop legends, forgotten gems, and the stories behind the songs that shaped generations, hit that subscribe button right now. And don't forget to turn on LL notifications so you'll be the first to know when we premiere our next video. It's free, it helps Pop Lore grow, and it makes sure you never miss a single countdown or music story. Let's build this community together.
Said about his widowed bride, but something touched me deep.
8.5 minutes that feel like a decade turning a page. McLean threads together personal memory, cultural snapshots, and a chorus built for campfires. The verses move like a puzzle, references you can argue about forever, while the melody never loses the crowd.
And bright and singing, this will be the day that I die. Oh, well, I know that you're in love with him, 'cause
Released late in 1971, it climbed into the new year and took the top spot, with the single split across 2 sides of a 45 that DJs happily flipped. People call it a eulogy for early rock after the Buddy Holly crash. McLean calls it a wider loss of innocence.
I saw you dancing in the gym. You both kicked off your shoes.
Both can be true, which is why the song keeps working. It lets you bring your own meaning. What do you sing louder, the chorus or a favorite coded verse? And what do you think the song is really trying to say about growing up with the radio? The journey doesn't end here, pop lovers. Watch this next.
Looking for it all night.
Pop usually wins, except when it doesn't. In the 70s, even the biggest names took swings that missed. Label pressure, image pivots, disco detours, concept albums nobody asked for. Tonight we're counting down the top 15 1970s pop misfires. You forgot. Fact-checked, 1 pick per artist, no repeats. Not to dunk on legends, but to show what happens when momentum, marketing, and music collide. Stay for number 14, where a former Beatle chases the dance floor. At number 13, a superstar couple proves chemistry on paper isn't the same as chemistry on tape. Number 12 finds the Bee Gees in a strange in-between before their comeback explodes. At number 7, California Sunshine heads to a university studio and loses the plot. Number 6 is Wing's big-budget gamble that didn't stick. Number 2, contract drama stalls a pop queen. And number 1, a beloved duo goes cosmic and splits the room. By the end, you'll know why these records stumbled, what they still get right, and how some flops quietly set up the next classic. Quick question before we roll. Which 70s pop misfire do you secretly defend? And which one do you skip every time? Tell me below, and let's go 15-1.
Well, well, well. Oh, well. Oh, well. Well, well, well.
A protest record that wanted to be a newspaper. Lennon and Yoko Ono take headline issues, prison reform, women's rights, immigration fights, and set them to rock, boogie, and chantable choruses with the bar band punch of Elephant's Memory.
How the hell we could get things done? Well, well, well.
The live bonus with Frank Zappa adds more volume than focus. The danger wasn't the politics. It was the speed. Songs written to the week's headlines can feel thin once the week is over. Melodies that once floated now march. The wit that lifted Imagine is harder to find.
And neither one of us knew just why.
Still, the conviction is real, and you can hear a man trying to use fame for something larger than himself. Misfire or not, it's a window into how messy it is when art races the news. Do you judge this album by its songs or by its intent? If you strip away the headlines, which track still stands up for you?
Hey, Pop Lore family. Did you know only 1% of viewers are subscribed? If you love deep dives into pop legends, forgotten gems, and the stories behind the songs that shaped generations, hit that subscribe button right now. And don't forget to turn on LL notifications so you'll be the first to know when we premiere our next video. It's free, it helps Pop Lore grow, and it makes sure you never miss a single countdown or music story. Let's build this community together.
But baby, when you came my way, I thought I had found perfection.
A Beatle goes to the disco. Ringo leans on sleek grooves, string swirls, and late 70s club tempos, with covers like Drowning in the Sea of Love, pointing the way. The problem isn't effort. He's all in. It's fit. Ringo's laid-back charm works beautifully on rootsy rock and friendly pop. Under mirror ball lighting, the smile feels stranded. Hooks are tidy but light. Production is pro but faceless. The album stumbled on the charts and cooled his solo momentum. And yet, there's a curious bravery here. A household name risking embarrassment to meet the moment instead of hiding from it. If you could rebuild Ringo IV, would you keep the disco pulse but swap in grittier players? Or ditch the dance floor and go back to rootsy rockers that suit his voice? On paper, star couple, Southern soul grit meets pop steel. On tape, a tug of war. Greg brings a worn-in blues feel, Cher brings radio-ready power, and the band tries to glue it together. The material sits in a strange middle, too polished for Allman diehards, too bar band for pop radio, and the chemistry that worked in tabloids doesn't quite translate in headphones. Reviews were harsh, sales were soft, and the tour was short. Still, listen closely, and you'll hear a few sparks. When the arrangements lean into muscle rather than gloss, there's a flicker of the record this could have been. If you had to pick the one song that almost makes the concept work, which cut is it? And what would you change to push it over the line? The bridge nobody remembers. Before Main Course and the disco boom, the Bee Gees teamed with producer Arif Mardin to toughen the rhythm section and tilt toward R&B. You can hear the future in the drum feel, bass movement, and layered vocals, but the songs are transitional, the singles modest, and the identity not yet locked. To fans of their earlier orchestral ballads, it felt like drift. To later dance floor converts, it sounded like a warm-up lap. In hindsight, Mr. Natural is the rehearsal where they found the switches they'd soon flip to stadium size. It missed the charts in a big way, but it taught the band how groove could carry their harmonies. Be honest, do you skip it to get to Main Course, or do you hear this as the missing link that makes the later hits make sense? From teen idol tartan to power pop hopefuls. With a new lead voice and a clean guitar-forward sound, the Rollers tried to step out of their own shadow. The songs chase radio with sharp choruses and tighter playing, but the marketplace had moved on, and the band's brand was still stuck to yesterday. The album barely made a dent in the UK or US, and the singles sank without a ripple. Listen today, and you'll hear a different band trying to grow up. Fewer chants, more craft, a hint of new wave polish. It's a respectable reset that arrived one season too late. If this record had been released by a new name, no teen idol baggage, do you think the same tracks would have earned a second listen? A family pop machine took a sharp left into theology. The plan is a sincere, full album exploration of the Osmonds' latter-day saint beliefs, temptation, faith, redemption, set to ambitious pop rock with prog touches, fuzz guitars, and choir-like harmonies. On paper, it's brave. On the turntable, it split the audience. The kids who came for bubblegum hooks and choreographed smiles suddenly faced parables, key changes, and lyrical Easter eggs about doctrine. There are bright spots. Tunes like Let Me In prove they could fold spiritual content into radio form. But the record asks casual fans to follow a narrative rather than chase singles.
A concept album based upon our philosophies about life. Where did I come from? Look around. Now that I know.
The Misfire wasn't effort, it was fit. The Osmonds tried to be a concept album band just when their listeners still wanted posters and choruses. If you could reissue the plan for new listeners, would you present it straight? Full concept, start to finish? Or build an EP of 5 strongest cuts to win skeptics first? By 1970, the TV show was gone. Mike Nesmith had one boot out the door, then both, and Peter Tork was already history. Changes is essentially a Jeff Barry-steered project fronted by Mickey Dolenz and Davy Jones. A polished set of bubblegum and late-era sunshine pop that rarely sounds like a band in a room.
Know how happy I can be.
As craft, it's tidy. As identity, it's thin. The Monkees once turned manufactured origins into real chemistry. Here, the songs feel flown in, the spark outsourced. It's the sound of a brand trying to keep moving after the engine fell out. Ironically, that professional sheen makes it a fascinating time capsule. The last gasp of 60s pop formulas before the 70s hardened around singer-songwriters and album rock. If you could add one Nesmith song and one Tork performance to Changes, which flavors would rescue the album's personality? The end of the Motown chapter, written in disco gloss and label pressure. You can hear the group searching, remnants of their hyper-tight early sound, new 4-on-the-floor rhythms, and ballads that hint at Michael's maturing voice.
A paradise.
But the album feels like a hallway between two houses. Motown's control on one side, the creative freedom of the Jacksons' epic era on the other. Strong players, slick mixes, singles that should have landed bigger, yet the center wobbles. In a year stuffed with sharper disco and deeper soul, Moving Violation struggled to tell radio who the Jackson 5 still were.
Ooh, look at my eyes and see how much I want you.
Months later, the name change and a fresh production brain trust would unlock the next act. Which lane works best here? The sleek dance cuts or the slow burn ballads? And how would you sequence the album to make that choice feel intentional? This video is sponsored by the Lore Store on Amazon, your one-stop shop for music lovers across reggae, rock, pop, and hip-hop. We built it for real listeners who don't want to dig through 1,000 listings to find the right gear. Inside the Lore Store, you'll find 5 aisles. VIP, top, battle-tested essentials. Headphones, turntables, speakers, gig-safe earplugs, smart speakers. Reggae vibe, roots and lovers. Rock made easy, automatic decks, warm bookshelf speakers, vinyl care. Rock lore, classic rock must-haves. Open back cans, simple amps, living room concert vibes. Pop lore, feel-good everyday setups, clean, clear speakers, Easy streaming, nostalgia-friendly picks. Hip-hop must-haves. Punchy bass without the muddle. Closed-back headphones and living room systems that handle low-end. Plus a rotating crate of old album vinyl if you're rebuilding a 60s-90s collection. Every product page tells you who it's for, 3 pros, 1 con, and why we picked it. So you can choose with confidence. Flying soon? Check. VIP for noise canceling that tames plane roar. Mostly listening at home? Try open-back headphones that let live albums breathe. Want instant gratification vinyl? Our fully automatic turntable is 1 button from silence to music, and the record cleaning kit knocks down crackle so the bass tightens up. Headed to shows? Grab high-fidelity earplugs. Hands-free at home? Our smart speaker picks let you say, play 70s reggae or classic pop, and you're there. Deal alert! If you use the link in the description, you'll land on our curated picks with current best available Amazon pricing and active discounts where applicable. Prices change, so buy now to lock in today's deal. Tap the link in the description, pick your aisle, grab a favorite, and tell me which category you want me to build next. The Lore Store. Listen better, with gear that gets out of the way and lets the music live. Recorded in Iowa at Maharishi International University, the record wears its backstory on its sleeve. Internal politics, shifting leadership, and a band trying to bottle endless summer long after the sun moved. There are moments of craft, stacked harmonies still turn corners beautifully, and a couple of tunes flirt with late 70s adult contemporary ease, but the mood is scattered.
She's got rhythm, she's got something I need.
Problem songs and uneasy lyric choices sit beside lightweight romps. A Buddy Holly cover nods to roots while the sequencing struggles to find a pulse. Fans who lived through Pet Sounds and the Sun-Kissed singles heard this as a postcard from someplace strangely air-conditioned. The Misfire isn't talent, it's purpose. You can feel a great group working at cross purposes about what a Beach Boys album should be in 1978. If you could keep 3 tracks from MIU for a leaner, stronger LP, which would you save? And what single would you lead with to change the narrative? A high-budget pivot aimed at the late 70s moment. Leaner, tougher, a little punk new wave electricity, and a grand rockestra summit pulling in a stage full of rock royalty. On paper, irresistible. In headphones, uneven. Getting Closer and Old Siam Sir punch hard. Arrow Through Me floats with slinky neo-soul charm. The rockestra concept delivers scale, if not always songs.
My salamander, don't try to I'm getting closer.
What undercut the impact wasn't a lack of ideas. It was too many competing ones, spread across a sequence that won't sit still. Compared to the bulletproof mid-70s Wings run, this felt like an audition reel for 3 different albums.
Well, when will we be there?
Still, listen with fresh ears, and you'll hear a writer refusing autopilot, testing edges just before the 80s redefined his field again. If you were Macca's sequencing partner, would you build a tight guitar-forward 10-track rocker? Or keep the eclectic mix but split it into distinct sides with their own moods? A famous name trying to start a new chapter. By 1975, the post-Diana Ross lineup had real voices. Mary Wilson's warmth, Sherry Payne's bite, Cindy Birdsong's blend, but the brand still carried a 1960s shadow. This self-titled set tries to bridge eras, sleek mid-70s arrangements, club-friendly grooves, and a couple of big, confident vocals that deserved more daylight. The single, He's My Man, lit up dance floors, yet the album didn't turn that spark into a wider fire. You can hear the crossroads problem. Radio wanted crystal clear disco or soft soul. The group offered sophisticated pop soul that didn't neatly fit either lane. It isn't a failure of talent, it's a failure of timing and framing.
He's the only man who can make me feel
Listen now and the craft stands out. Tight charts, disciplined rhythm sections, and harmonies that still turn on a dime. If you reintroduced this album today, would you sell it as grown woman disco soul or as elegant pop? And which two songs would you push as the proof? The last chapter of a TV-born phenomenon. By '73, the show's glow was fading, teen idol energy was cooling, and the singles weren't sticking to radio like before. Bulletin Board tries to steady the ship with polished LA pop, Session Ace playing, and David Cassidy's increasingly confident lead vocals.
Knew the words, but you had to hear the tune again.
But the marketplace had moved. Album rock and singer-songwriters were taking over, and a scripted family band, no matter how well produced, felt like yesterday's story. As a set of songs, it's tidy and tuneful. As a cultural object, it's a time capsule that couldn't outrun its own premise. That's why it's a misfire. Not because the music collapses, but because the context does. Still, you can hear flashes of the record they hoped people would meet on its own terms. Bright hooks, bittersweet choruses, sunshine with a melancholy tint. If Bulletin Board had dropped under a new band name with the same tracks, do you think critics would have judged it more kindly? An artist between eras, with good songs in his pocket and the big comeback just 1 year away. Greenlight is leaner and more modern than Cliff's mid-'70s work. Clean guitars, radio-tight arrangements, melodies that aim at daylight rather than nostalgia. It's the sound of a veteran choosing to compete instead of coasting.
A sign to stop my head turning. Well,
And yet, it underperforms. Why? Partly timing. The UK pop field in '78 was crowded with punk's aftershock and new wave sheen. Partly story. Listeners weren't primed for a Cliff reinvention until a blockbuster single, We Don't Talk Anymore, reset the narrative in '79. In hindsight, Greenlight feels like the on-ramp. Solid, sometimes sparkling, but overshadowed by the highway that followed.
searching for a green light.
The misfire isn't quality, it's momentum. Which track from Greenlight would you place on a Convince a New Fan playlist? And what two-line pitch would you give before you hit play?
No limit on love at all. It can always get better.
The calm before the supernova. Legal and label tension sapped the push behind this album, and you can hear a gifted singer parked between lanes. Country pop softness on one side, adult contemporary gloss on the other, with no single to slam the door open.
So come on and show it. Let's keep it alive.
Olivia's voice is present and pure. Clear vowels, easy glide, no wasted air. But the campaign around her wasn't. Months later, Grease would change everything. In that light, making a good thing better reads like a stranded postcard from a career about to explode.
Make it so much better. Make it better, better.
As a listening experience, it's tasteful and tuneful. As a pop move, it missed the moment. That's the lesson here. Even a strong artist needs alignment. Song, story, support. If you were producing a 4-song rescue EP from this album to reissue today, which cuts would you choose? And would you keep the soft focus or dial in a warmer live band feel?
Hey, Pop Lore family. Did you know only 1% of viewers are subscribed? If you love deep dives into pop legends, forgotten gems, and the stories behind the songs that shaped generations, hit that subscribe button right now. And don't forget to turn on LL notifications so you'll be the first to know when we premiere our next video. It's free, it helps Pop Lore grow, and it makes sure you never miss a single countdown or music story. Let's build this community together.
Thing to do, run and find the one who. Funny, but it seems that it's the only.
Two of pop's most precise craftsmen step off their familiar path. Karen and Richard aim for range, the widescreen novelty and wonder of calling occupants of interplanetary craft, a sleek West Coast pop tune in All You Get From Love Is a Love Song, and a big theater cover that tests how far their sound can travel.
Feel it's come and gone before.
What's undeniable is the performance level, Karen's control and empathy, Richard's arranging brain, the studio discipline that keeps every note in its lane. What's arguable is cohesion. Passage feels like a portfolio, audition pieces for different futures, rather than a single shared mood. Fans who loved the intimate, finely brushed Carpenters' aura heard ambition that sometimes outran identity. Radio wanted one clear lane. As a result, the album split the room. Decades later, the best moments shine. The experiment remains brave. If you could rebuild Passage around one mood, space-age wonder, sleek radio pop, or grand balladry, which would you choose? And what running order would make Karen's voice hit hardest? The journey doesn't end here, pop lovers. Watch this next. Imagine a mirror ball lighting up and the first chord drops. Instantly you're back on a 1970s dance floor. Which song does that to you every time? Tonight we're counting down the top 15 1970s disco pop classics we'll never forget. The records that ruled radio, rewired the clubs, and still crush weddings and playlists today. From ABBA's Royal Sparkle and the Bee Gees' Heartbeat Groove to Donna Summer's Synth Revolution, Chic's Razor Tight Snap, Blondie's Downtown Cool, and MJ's Falsetto Liftoff, every pick is a legit, chart-tested moment. One song per artist, no repeats. Before we hit play, drop your personal #1 in the comments. No cheating. Ready to time travel? Turn it up. Let's start at number 15. The first bars feel like neon, sleek bass, a high-gloss groove, and that breathy hook that seemed to float out of every 12-inch sleeve in '76. Producer Greg Diamond kept the arrangement simple but irresistible. A clean hi-hat, a rubbery bass line, and strings that glide instead of shout. It's not just seductive, it's efficient dance architecture. The record jumped from New York dance floors to national radio, peaking at US #4 and hitting #1 in Canada. Years later, Len's Steal My Sunshine would flip a slice of this groove and prove how well built it really was. What made it stick? The tension and release of that vocal. Andrea doesn't belt, she teases, leaving space for dancers to move. The result is disco pop at its most aerodynamic, light on its feet, heavy in impact. Quick ear catchers, the two-part 12 structure, the feathered hand claps, the way the strings lift the chorus without ever crowding the pocket.
Hey, Pop Lore family. Did you know only 1% of viewers are subscribed? If you love deep dives into pop legends, forgotten gems, and the stories behind the songs that shaped generations, hit that subscribe button right now. And don't forget to turn on LL notifications so you'll be the first to know when we premiere our next video. It's free, it helps Pop Lore grow, and it makes sure you never miss a single countdown or music story. Let's build this community together.
Come some of the work gets kind of hard. And work. Well, those cars never seem to stop. Come in, work, and work.
A song about hard work that feels like a party. Norman Whitfield, fresh from redefining psychedelic soul, writes and produces a soundtrack cut that sneaks everyday joy into disco's glossy world. The claps are communal, the horns grin, the bass struts, and that hook? Instant call and response. Released with the film of the same name, it crossed from cinemas to the Hot 100 and all the way to US #1, early 1977. Listen to the little details. The percussion chatter between verses, the bright rhythm guitar locked to the kick, and Gwen Dickey's lead vocal smiling through every syllable. This is disco pop as workplace anthem, Clock in, dance out. Cinematic scale. Frank Farian crafts a folk-laced, string-driven gallop that tells a tabloid-sized legend in 3 verses and one unstoppable rah-rah Rasputin refrain. With warmth, while the rhythm section keeps a tight 4 on the floor, never rushing, always pressing forward. It's a history lesson disguised as a party track, and it worked everywhere. A massive European hit, UK #2, that felt tailor-made for both discotheques and parades. The arrangement is clever. Violins sketch the myth. The rhythm guitar and congas make sure the floor never empties. Hand claps punch the pre-chorus like cue cards. The first sound you notice is futurism, the pinging laser-like blips of an electronic percussion effect. That iconic pew-pew comes from a then cutting-edge synth drum. Producer, writer Frederick Knight drops Anita Ward's airy vocal on top, and suddenly you've got a record that is both featherlight and undeniable. It soared to #1 in the US and topped charts in multiple countries, sealing itself as a late 70s time capsule that never feels stuck in time. Why it works. The melody is simple, the groove is patient, and the production leaves room for the vocal to glide. The bridge dips just enough to make the final chorus feel like a sunroof opening. Disco pop often lives or dies by restraint. This one survives because it refuses to overplay its hand. Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards give us the blueprint for joyful unity. The guitar chanks are precise, the bass line is melodic and rubber tough, and the strings swirl without ever stealing the groove. Debbie, Joni, Kim, and Kathy Sledge harmonize like they were born to sing this, because they were. The track hit US #2 pop and #1 R&B, and then became bigger than charts. A wedding standard, a sports anthem, ask the 1979 Pittsburgh Pirates, and a shorthand for togetherness worldwide. Listen to the engineering of happiness.
Of this world's delight, high hopes they had.
Verse lines stacked with rhythmic hooks, pre-chorus lift that feels like a group hug, and a chorus that works whether you whisper it or scream it with a crowd. This is disco pop refined to its purest signal, a message you can dance to. 4. That tight horn voicing jumping in unison with the bass line, the call and response backing vocals stacked like a crowd at full voice, and the breakdown that sets up the final sing-along. It's disco pop engineered for collective joy. 4 minutes of instant belonging. Joy with a shadow in it. Maurice White and Al McKay produce a record that sparkles on the surface. Silky strings, precision horns, a dancing hi-hat, while Allie Willis and John Lynn's lyrics hint at the lonely hearts who go out searching for light. The Emotions harmonies thread through Philip Bailey and the EWF choir, and the groove never lets up. This wasn't just a club smash. It was a radio-strong top 10 that still feels like midnight electricity. The arrangement is a masterclass. The horn stabs are punctuation, not clutter. The bass moves melodically without stepping on the vocal. The bridge opens a skylight before the final chorus erupts. It's sophisticated pop dressed in mirror ball shimmer. Music for your feet and for your feelings. Miami Heat meets radio science. Harry Wayne Casey and Richard Finch build everything around a simple, addictive chant and a 2-chord vamp that never gets old because the rhythm section keeps shifting the spotlight. Congas chatter, guitar scratches, horns pop like confetti. It went all the way to #1 in the US and laid down a template for feel-good disco pop that even non-dancers couldn't resist. Listen for the discipline. The verses are lean, the chorus arrives early and often, and the breakdowns are clean exits and re-entries that keep bodies moving without wearing out the hook. This is economy turned into euphoria, proof that a great groove plus a great catchphrase can own a decade. This video is sponsored by the Lore Store on Amazon, your one-stop shop for music lovers across reggae, rock, pop, and hip-hop. We built it for real listeners who don't want to dig through 1,000 listings to find the right gear. Inside the Lore Store, you'll find 5 aisles. VIP, top, battle-tested essentials, headphones, turntables, speakers, gig-safe earplugs, smart speakers. Reggae vibe, roots and lovers. Rock made easy, automatic decks, warm bookshelf speakers, vinyl care. Rock lore, classic rock must-haves, open back cans, simple amps, living room concert vibes. Pop lore, feel-good everyday setups, clean, clear speakers, easy streaming, nostalgia-friendly picks. Hip-hop must-haves, punchy bass without the muddle, closed-back headphones and living room systems that handle low-end, plus a rotating crate of old album vinyl if you're rebuilding a 60s-90s collection. Every product page tells you who it's for, 3 pros, 1 con, and why we picked it. So you can choose with confidence. Flying soon? Check. VIP for noise canceling that tames plane roar. Mostly listening at home? Try open-back headphones that let live albums breathe. Want instant gratification vinyl? Our fully automatic turntable is 1 button from silence to music, and the record cleaning kit knocks down crackle so the bass tightens up. Headed to shows? Grab high-fidelity earplugs. Hands-free at home? Our smart speaker picks let you say, play 70s reggae or classic pop, and you're there. Deal alert. If you use the link in the description, you'll land on our curated picks with current best available Amazon pricing and active discounts where applicable. Prices change, so buy now to lock in today's deal. Tap the link in the description, pick your aisle, grab a favorite, and tell me which category you want me to build next. The Lore Store. Listen better, with gear that gets out of the way and lets the music live. Downtown Cool discovers the mirror ball. Blondie had been carrying a slower demo, Once I Had a Love, for years. Producer Mike Chapman reframed it with a sleek disco pulse and a drum machine heartbeat, and the band leaned into the shimmer without losing edge. Debbie Harry's vocal is icy sweet, and the lyric, Love Gone Brittle, slices through the gloss. The result? A global #1 that proved punk new wave kids could dominate the dance floor on their own terms. Sonically, it's a tightrope. Glassy guitars tick against a motoric kick. Synth filigrees sparkle without crowding, and the bass walks just enough to feel alive. The magic trick is restraint. No single part shouts, so the whole record glows. It's the moment disco pop becomes truly cosmopolitan. The door opens, and a new era walks in. Michael's first major solo single as an adult artist is a declaration. Falsetto in flight, strings swirling, percussion flickering like city lights. With Quincy Jones at the helm, everything is dialed to sparkle, rhythm guitar locked like clockwork, horns answering the vocal in bright bursts, bass carving a path that feels both smooth and urgent. It shot to #1 in the US and set the tone for Off the Wall. Sophisticated, modern, and built for joy. What makes it timeless is motion. The intro speaks softly, then the groove lifts like an elevator. The verses float. The pre-chorus rises. The chorus releases, over and over. A carefully designed wave. It's disco pop as craft. Dance music that also teaches you how to breathe with it.
And you too will be so. It's called a freak. They're doing it like this. Stopping as a boy. Now we're free. Oh, what a joy.
A guitar scratch that feels like a green light. Then Bernard Edwards' bass snaps into place and the room stands taller. Nile Rodgers and Edwards build a groove that is both tight and elastic.
Spinning all around. Feel the ride.
Clipped guitar, chanks, bass lines that sing, strings that glide, and drums that leave air for the hook to punch.
Around. Chant the rhyme. Feel the rhythm.
The chant is pure invitation, but the arrangement is meticulous. Verses lean, pre-chorus opens, chorus explodes, then everything locks back in like a well-oiled machine.
Days stopping as a boy. Now we're free. Oh, what?
It's no accident this went to US #1, non-consecutive, and set dance floors on fire on both sides of the Atlantic. The famous Origin, an angry Studio 54 night that morphed into Freak Out, tells you what Chic did best: turn frustration into joy, polish into power.
Around now, 'cause you're not welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who tried?
A B-side that became a life anthem. The opening piano is a pep talk in minor key. Then Gloria enters, steady and clear, like someone who's rehearsed their boundaries in the mirror and is finally ready to mean them.
You got to crumble. You think I lay down and die? Oh, no, not I. Hit my head, nothing fall apart. Kept trying hard to mend the pieces of my broken.
The strings swirl, the bass keeps its cool center, and the lyric grows from trembling to triumphant without losing grace. By the time the key lift hits and the backing vocals bloom, you can feel the room change. People don't just dance to this, they stand up straighter. It hit US #1 in 1979 and won the first and only Grammy for Best Disco Recording. The secret is balance, vulnerability in the verse, power in the chorus, and a groove that carries both. The future arriving in real time. Giorgio Moroder and Pete Bellotti strip away horns and guitars and build a world from pulses. Sequenced bass, airy hi-hat, synthetic strings that shimmer like neon heat. Donna's vocal floats above, cool and sensual, a human line tracing an electronic horizon. It was a UK #1 and a US top 10, but more than that, it rewired pop, paving lanes for synth pop, house, techno, and everything that would come after. The hypnosis is in the repetition. The drama is in micro-shifts, the filter sweeps, the pattern modulations, the way Donna leans into a phrase and the floor leans with her. A heartbeat you can see in the lights. The groove is relentless. 4 on the floor kick, a clipped guitar, bass stepping with confidence, and those stacked falsetto harmonies acting like a spotlight on the chorus. Born from the Saturday Night Fever sessions, it hit US #1 and turned a film soundtrack into a cultural event. Beneath the swagger, the lyrics read like street survival, life going nowhere, sung by voices reaching higher and higher, refusing the gravity. In the studio, they built the bed with a looped drum feel that never sags, giving dancers and editors a perfect canvas. Decades later, its tempo even found a second life in CPR training, proof the rhythm is literally life-saving.
Hey, Pop Lore family. Did you know only 1% of viewers are subscribed? If you love deep dives into pop legends, forgotten gems, and the stories behind the songs that shaped generations, hit that subscribe button right now. And don't forget to turn on LL notifications so you'll be the first to know when we premiere our next video. It's free, it helps pop lore grow, and it makes sure you never miss a single countdown or music story. Let's build this community together.
Anybody could be that guy. Time of your life. Ooh, see that girl.
The moment the piano glissandos into that first downbeat, you know exactly where you are. Inside a chorus so perfectly written, it feels pre-existing.
With a big rock music.
Benny Andersson and Björn Ulvaeus craft a melody that rises like a smile. Agnetha and Annie Fried stack harmonies that glow. The rhythm section moves like champagne bubbles. Never heavy, always lifting. It was a global #1, including the US and UK, because it captures a universal picture. The kid stepping onto the floor and becoming the main character for 3 minutes. The magic is engineering and emotion in equal measure. Clear verses, a pre-chorus that pulls gravity upward, and a chorus that resolves with pure sunlight. It's disco pop at its most generous, elegant, euphoric, and instantly welcoming. The journey doesn't end here, pop lovers. Watch this next.